Well, hi my friends, this is Jay, and this is Jay's Stitch Tutorial number 3. I hope you're in a quiet place or that you have a moment that you might want to just sit and let me share this nice, simple, pretty lace stitch with you tonight. It's quiet here in the house, and I just thought, let's see if my friends feel like stitching with me. Alright, so let me show you what the stitch we're going to do. It's a beautiful lace stitch, and like I said, we're just going to have numbers because every time I look for a stitch in my stitch books, the different designers, they use different names sometimes, so it's hard to keep track. So if you need any help, all you have to do is say, Jay, I'm working on stitch number 3, and I need help on row number 5. Something like that. See, and that way I know exactly where to find the information or get it to you. But here's my pretty lace stitch for me to share tonight. And of course, I'm doing this like at night when it's quiet. I just like that moment. It just kind of ends my day. And I don't have to worry about those rude calls coming in. But let me show you this pretty stitch. Look at this, and this luscious lemon color. I'll tell you about the yarn. I'll remind you about the yarn in just a minute, but I just want you to take a look at this lace stitch. Like I say, it's just, we're just going to call it stitch number 3. Has a beautiful little scallop edge. Let's see if I'm on camera. Yeah, I am. It has a nice little scallop edge. It is only 6 rows, but the wrong sides are purl. So really, it's really just 3 rows of actual knitting, of the lace. Easy peasy. Now turn it over. Since the wrong sides are all purl, you can see how smooth and how the wrong side will look on my sample here. I tried to give you a large swatch. I understand because, when I'm looking for something, nothing wrong when it's just so hard when if the yarn is too small to see, or the swatch. So I hope this swatch, you can give me feedback. Hope I'm making the swatches large enough. Alright, so I'm not, like I said, this is not like my regular tutorial. These are special, set aside just for those who love to stitch and maybe just don't have time for a large project right now. But don't forget, after, on down the road, I may design a project for any of these stitches that we cover. I might just say, you know what, go back, we're going to go back to stitch number 3, and I've designed a project. I think that will be fun, and it'll be like a nice bonus. So what do you think of that? Because I'm thinking of something for this one already. All right, let me get my real-time piece that I'm working in real time to knit with you row by row. Now, right after this right before I came on, I think you had an information sheet should have come up. This is just something that I'm going to try to do for every stitch. It's just something that I write out, just like my regular tutorials, because some people do like to have something written that they can go back and just look at, or whatever. So I try to keep it very simple. I tell you the basic things, the multiple of the stitch we're going to use. I do Jay's working formula. That means I've already worked out for this swatch. B means border. I'm putting 3 stitches on each side for a border. I've worked out how many stitches I'm going to use for my swatch. It's a multiple of 10 plus 2, so I took 3 times 10 is 30. I added 2, made it 32. Now if I add a border of 3, 32, and another border of 3, I get a cast on of 38 stitches. Make sense? And normally I'll tell you whether to go ahead and knit 2 rows or whatever. If I don't put that, that means you have to wait till we start row 1 for a reason. Maybe the way the stitch is set up. But for this one, you will cast on, knit 2 rows, and then we will start at row 1, the right side, in just a minute. All right. I'll be right back. Alright, so let's get started, but first just a quick recap. For my swatches, I will be using, at least during the summer, the spring and summer months, Karen Simply Soft. It's a number 4 weight yarn with a number 8 size needle. If you prefer, smaller yarn, number 3 or baby yarn or sports yarn with a number 7, say, needle, that's just fine. Whatever you'd like to make your swatch in. I am just using something a little larger just to make it easier for you to see and see my stitches. So we are ready to get started on this beautiful lace number 3, and I am going to read row 1, and it will be on the screen. And if you need to, if there's a lot going on with me talking, or I'm knitting and you're trying to read, just turn the sound off, and that will help. You can just hit the sound on your computer and just watch my hands if that will help. If that will help you. Also, under each, did you know the little boxes, if you look under the video, there's some little boxes. If you hit on one of the boxes, it will enlarge your screen a little bit, and that will also help you to see the stitches maybe even better. All right, row 1 of our lace, the right side reads, knit 1, yarn over, knit 3, slip 1, knit 2 stitches together, pass the slip stitch over, then knit 2, yarn over, knit 2, and repeat that across the row until you come to the last stitch, and you will knit that last stitch. So the first thing I'm going to do, of course, I added a 3-stitch border. You could have had any border depending on what you were going to use this piece for, but 3 stitches just look nice just to keep it from rolling. So I knit my 3 border stitches that I'll knit on every row. I slide my marker. Now I'm going to read and demonstrate each stitch. It says knit 1, so yarn over, just over the needle. Now knit 3, 1, 2, and 3. All right, slip 1 stitch, knit the next 2 stitches together, reach back and pass the slip stitch over and off the needle, just like that. All right, now knit 2, 1, 2, yarn over. Now I need you to knit 2, 1, 2. Okay, that is the first repeat. Go back up to the front of the row. Again, it says for the repeat is yarn over, knit 3, 1, 2, and 3. Slip 1 stitch, knit 2 stitches together. Now reach back and pass the slip stitch over and off the needle. All right, now knit 2 stitches, 1, 2, yarn over, and knit 2, 1, 2. All right, that's 2 repeats. All right, one more. Yarn over, knit 3, 1, 2, and 3. All right, slip 1, knit the next 2 stitches together. This yarn does split, so I know some of you don't like it, the Karen, because it does split, but it's just so pretty. Reach back, don't forget, and pass the slip stitch over, or you'll have an extra stitch. All right, now knit 2, 1, 2, yarn over, knit the next 2, 1, 2, and I have 1 stitch left before the marker, right there, and so I knit the last stitch. Slide my marker, and I knit the border. 1, 2, 3. We have just finished row 1, the right side. so it doesn't look quite as vacant and empty, because like I said, I did a few samples. I did a few repeats just so it wouldn't look so empty. All right. Well, now listen. When we turn the work all the wrong side, except for the borders, you'll simply purl those stitches that represent the pattern. So I will see you back at row 3. Take care not to lose any yarn overs as you purl on row 2. All right, we are ready to work row 3. And like I said, you're down here at the bottom, so I'm trying to let you I wanted a little bit just to give you some encouragement. Yours is going to look just as pretty. All right, row 3 reads, knit 1, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, slip 1, knit 2 stitches together, reach back and pass the slip stitch over, knit 2, yarn over, knit 2. And you will keep repeating and end with a knit 1. So, pretty simple, pretty easy so far. So, I knit my border stitches on every row. I slide the marker. And again it says knit 1, then knit 1 again. Yarn over, knit 2. 1, 2. Slip 1, knit 2 stitches together. Reach back and pass that slip stitch over and off the needle, just like that. All right, now knit 2, 1, 2, yarn over and knit 2, 1, 2. All right, let's go back up to the front, and that was one repeat. The next repeat starts with just a knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, 1, 2, slip 1, knit 2 stitches together, reach back and pass the slip stitch over and off, knit 2, 1, 2, yarn over, and knit 2 more stitches, 1, 1 and 2. All right, we're up to the last repeat, so we go back up. The repeat again is knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, 1, 2, slip 1, knit 2 stitches together, reach back and pass a slip stitch over. All right, let's go. Knit 2. 1, 2, yarn over, knit 2, 1, 2, and I have 1 stitch left, and I knit the last stitch and slide the marker and knit my border. You have just completed row 3. You see how fast this is going to go? And I hope this really helps you to, if you are a new knitter, to build your skills. If you're a returning knitter, that it just gives you that much more momentum and much more confidence and encouragement. Yeah, I remember how much I loved this before. All right, row 4, when you turn the work, is the wrong side. Knit the borders, but all the stitches in between you purl. Take time and be careful so that you do not lose any of your yarn overs. I will see you at row 5. Well, we have reached row number 5 of this pretty lace. Just a few little rows, and look, it looks like once you have done a few more repeats, you'll think, oh my gosh, look how pretty. Nice and delicate. Looks like you really put a lot of work. All right, row 5, of course, is our last pattern row. And row 5 reads, knit 1, and then there's a little sequence. Yarn over, knit 1, and do it twice. Then slip 1 stitch, knit 2 stitches together, reach back and pass the slip stitch over. Then the next sequence is knit 1, yarn over, and do that twice. Then slip 1 stitch, knit 2 together, pass the slip stitch over, and repeat and end the last stitch with a knit 1. So this is kind of a little twister here. Can you see how there's some little sequence, but they're just the opposite. So I knit my 3-stitch border, and then I slide my marker. All right, we're going to take it slow, but it's very easy. It's on the screen. Knit 1. Now, yarn over, knit 1. Now do that sequence again. Yarn over and knit 1. All right. Now, slip 1, knit 2 stitches together. Reach back and pass that slip stitch over, just like that. Now the second sequence is just the opposite than the first. It says knit 1, then do the yarn over, and you have to do it again. Knit 1, then do the yarn over. Slip 1, knit 2 stitches together, reach back and pass the slip stitch over, just like that. All right, now we go back up to the front for the repeat. All right, now look at the repeat. It says, this one is, make sure I have yarn over first, and then knit 1. Yarn over, then knit 1. Now slip 1, knit 2 stitches together, reach back and pass that slip stitch over. Okay, now I'm ready for the second sequence. This one is knit 1, then yarn over. Knit 1, then yarn over. Slip 1, knit 2 stitches together, reach back and pass the slip stitch over. All right, the last repeat, back at the beginning of the row. This one starts again with, yarn over, knit 1. Do it again. Yarn over, knit 1. Slip 1, knit 2 stitches together, reach back and pass the slip stitch over. Now the next sequence. Knit 1, then yarn over. Okay? Do it again. Knit 1, then yarn over. Slip 1, knit 2 stitches together. Reach back and pass the slip stitch over and off. And there's 1 stitch left, so knit the last stitch. Slide the marker, knit the border, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, you have just completed row 5 of this pretty, really fancy lace with such, look, such pretty little openings, little scallop edge, but with hardly any work at all. Now, you have to complete row 6, do the purl, and then you have completed rows 1 through 6, and you can continue to work it back and forth to your desired length. Now, why wouldn't you just want to keep working it and maybe do a scarf or a pretty neck warmer? So I may work up a project, like I said, because this is so simple and so pretty and it works up so fast. So as soon as I get something worked up, of course, I'll come back to share it with you too. And you can decide if you'd like to make a project. Well, we have completed J-Stitch tutorial number 3. I hope you're enjoying stitching the night away with me. You see how quiet it is? Well, except for that. Like somebody was riding something up the street. But at least we didn't have the birds. Nothing wrong with the birds, but we didn't have the birds and the crickets. I haven't opened the window yet. But I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope this is something you want to join me on. Like I said, I'm going to just keep going, produce as many as I can. Just stitch. I should have called it Stitch the Night Away, shouldn't I? Instead of Stitches a la carte. But I'm just randomly picking stitches. And I'm using up a lot of yarn. And I just have so many pretty colors I can just stitch away. So I hope you give this a try. This is a great one to get started on. You only have the little 3 rows and the other rows are purls. But it says oh so much. So this is Jay, and I will see you on stitch tutorial number 4 just as soon as I can get it finished. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you.